I've been painting for about 13 years now, and I was lucky enough to go to like a local art show, and the owner of this cream seeded tattoo is Ryan Shep. He was actually next to me, and he saw my artwork and he asked if, do you want to start tattooing? And after that, that's what I started doing. Because it's such a different industry, I felt like I kind of had to start over with my clientele. I mean, I have a lot of Hmong supporters, and they do get tattooed by me, but it's very minimal right now just because of the location. Um, I believe it might be different if I was like more in the cities because some people they contact me, but then they're like, you're too far. So the travel and the commute is kind of like what's holding them back. I've done a couple Hmong inspired tattoos. The first one was a Hmong girl that I did. It was I called it Hmong Spirit. It's like a spirit lock, and the girl that I tattooed it on, it was awesome because she was kind of telling me her story about like how things were kind of going downhill for her, and she's been trying to buy a home and trying to like just support her family because she was like a single mother. And then after I tattooed that, it was great because she told me it kind of changed her. She bought a home and then she married like the man of her dreams. So it was kind of interesting to see how like my tattoo, how the symbolism of a spirit lock is, kind of gave her like that extra good luck. Well, specifically, if somebody is asking for like the Hmong inspired motif, I will definitely use a lot of textiles, just because it means different, symbolisms and meaning. Where sometimes I do tattoo that also on like even non Hmong, and a lot of them like it, but they don't understand why. But it doesn't matter because it's like part of my style and my culture. So I try to kind of sneak that in every now and then on a simple design, even if it's like a hummingbird or like flowers. I try to put like some Hmong motif on it so that when people look at it, they know that that's like tattooed by me. I've always been fond of Hmong textiles and the symbolism and the meaning, and I chose the swirl to kind of define who I am. It symbolizes beauty and balance. I think the my favorite one so far is definitely Jordan Lee. She came from Alaska. She flew here to get a tattoo from me. It was really inspired by her grandparents. So I did a water buffalo and the poppy flowers. The reason why that's important is just because it just reminds us like where we came from, and culturally it's great because getting a tattoo is like one of the things in our culture, like, oh, you should get a tattoo, but then you make that choice and it just means more when it's like personal.
So before you started tattooing, like what was your perception of tattoos? Or even like if you got one before you started tattooing, like what was your idea or perspective on that?
I've always been I'm an artist, so always been a rebel and a huge fan of tattoos. And like I got a tattoo, I think the first time when I was like when I turned 18, and of course I looked at the chart and I said I want that number. And it was funny because I had to hide it from my mom for like almost 4 years, and the only reason why she found out was because I was in a wedding, and I tried to hide it with like a band-aid and said that I got burned with a curling iron. But like it's just that that our culture at that time, they're just like, you cannot get tattoos, and like, but it's wonderful because it kind of speaks a little bit about who you are and your personality.